My family thought I wasn't my father's child, so they cut me off completely. Now they want to get back in touch. I have a lot of friends who read this, so this is a temporary account. I don't think the technical details matter much, so I'll get straight to the point. 4 years ago, my father discovered that my mother had had a lifelong affair, more than one actually, but that's another story. He knew about a couple of affairs she'd had in the past and forgave her, holding on for the sake of the kids. But that time 4 years ago, he discovered that my 2 brothers and I might not be his children, considering the timeline of the affair. This was the first time any of us heard about my mother's infidelities. Well, not everything really. There was a whole deoxyribonucleic acid testing issue, and it turned out that my brothers were my father's children, and I wasn't. Not great, right? So my father left my mother, divorced her, moved out, and took my 2 brothers with him, but not me. I stayed with my mother, who hit rock bottom when she found herself alone, and we both became outcasts, at least as far as most of the family was concerned. My older brother was particularly cruel to me. We used to be very close, and the things he did to me, I swear if I had been bigger at the time, I would have hit him more than once. I don't want to go into details because I can't, as it might make me recognizable. But things happened, and they did another deoxyribonucleic acid test on me, and it turns out the first one was wrong, and I am my father's child. I don't need legal advice on this. My grandfather is the man who has always supported me. We hired a lawyer, and we're looking to settle this. But my father wants to come back into my life. My brother is calling and wants to meet and talk. I don't want to. I want these people out of my life. My mother has already forgiven everyone. She's dating my father, and I feel bad, but it's not my business, right? I wish them good luck, but I don't want to have anything to do with it. No one leaves me alone. I keep hearing that they are family and that I should listen to them and give them a chance, or I'll regret it later. And that the only reason I don't want to talk to them is that I'm a teenager and stupid, or some other silly explanation. So give me some perspective here, please. Do I sound unreasonable when I say thanks but no thanks? Summary: my father thought I wasn't his son. He left. It turned out that I am, so he wants to be friends again, and I want him to go away. Update 1. Thanks to everyone for the advice, but I decided to follow my grandfather's advice, which was pretty much the same as what most of you gave me, and I will stand my ground. I've been very upset lately because a lot of people around me keep saying that I'm a crazy teenager and that I'll regret it. But my grandfather made a point that I need to stop trying to decide how I'll feel in the future, because the truth is you never know. You have to make decisions now based on the feelings and information you have now, not on the feelings and information you might have later. Right now, I'm disgusted by my father and my brother. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't trust them, and I even think there's a chance they're doing this, trying to get close only for appearance and money. If my feelings change, I'll handle it when they do. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it and all that. I wasn't going to post an update on this because I don't see the point. My story is pretty much finished, but something happened yesterday, and I wanted to share it. So I decided to keep my firm and no-ish stance. I will be moving to another city soon, and I decided to change my number. Only my grandfather will have the new one, and I asked him not to share it, and I know he won't. He's a retired cop, so he's really cool and doesn't have patience for nonsense. My new number is safe. He called my mother and told her that from now on, if anyone wanted to contact me, they would have to go through him. So my mother showed up at his house. I've been living with him for a while, and she tried to talk to me, but my grandfather said she had to talk to him first so he could decide if she was allowed to talk to me or not. So my mother went crazy and started saying that it wasn't his business and that this was between my father and me. So my grandfather said something like, "If anyone shows up in my yard to bother the boy, I'll call the police, get a restraining order and a shotgun." This went on for a while until my mother said that I wasn't the only family my grandfather had and that by doing this, my grandfather was pushing everyone away and dividing the family. He has other grandchildren, so why only choose me and things like that? So my grandfather laughed and told her that through no fault of his own, this family exploded a long time ago, and everyone just grabbed a piece of what was left and ran with it. He looked at me and said that I was his piece, so he wasn't going to let me go, and to hell with everything. I was feeling like laughing up to this point because my mother was going crazy and all that, but when he said that, I broke down. My mother left after a while, and I just hugged my old man like my life depended on it, and he just said something like, "Enough, there's no need for that anymore. I'm your family. Family doesn't leave you. Remember that when you have your own." And I will. Edit, before I forget, some people asked about what my brothers were like. Well, my older brother stole, took things that were mine or supposed to be mine, lied to me and about me, not innocent lies but messed up things that ruined relationships I had with friends, family, even a girlfriend I cared about. He was a big bully for years, even hit me once. My mother said he was also going through a lot, and my father didn't care and just protected him. My grandfather told him that if he ever hit me again, he would break my brother's teeth. I guess he believed him because he never touched me after that time. My younger brother is great, I'd rather not talk about him here. Another edit, I read the comments to my grandfather. I had to explain what a summary is, and now he wants to see Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, haha, but he thanks everyone for the love. Reading the responses on my first post, he just said that the internet is very smart. Reading the responses to this update, he got a little emotional and walked away saying he had things to do but took a beer and came back and asked if there were more people saying things. But the comment comparing him to Clint Eastwood made his day. Thanks for the love, guys. Part 2, Update 2. It's an act of God that I still remember the password to this temporary account, but guys, you won't believe this. I can't even believe it. The lab didn't make a mistake with my results. What they did was mix up the results of all the kids. I am my father's biological son, but my older brother isn't. Which is weird because he looks like my father. Maybe my mother has a type. It turns out it was his lab results or whatever with my name. Now they'll be triple checking with another lab, but I mean damn. The settlement has a confidentiality clause about the details, so I won't talk about this anymore because it's a lot of money, but I had to share this because haha. Story 2. What's the craziest thing you've seen happen at Walmart? I saw a dwarf security guard tackle and take down a 60-year-old black man in a Hawaiian shirt who was trying to steal about $600 in steaks. The steak guy did this about once a month or so, just filling his cart with steaks, briskets, pork ribs, etc., heading to the front, acting like he was going to pay, then bolting out the exit doors and dumping it in a waiting truck. They never got a clear license plate, and they were trying to catch him in the act. I was working at my counter and heard behind me, "Sir, don't do it. Just walk away from the cart." Walmart security is undercover and has no legal authority. They can detain you and defend themselves, but they can't hold you. You can leave whenever you want. I turned around and saw this guy with a cart full of steaks. He was starting to mumble and make excuses while simultaneously trying to play it off. "Sir, come with us." "Please let go of the cart, sir." The guard trying to calm him down was the head of security there. He was a chill guy in his 30s, but built like a brick. You might think he was fat if you looked at him, but no way you'd dream he could lift like 340+ pounds. The steak guy makes his move, tries to run past Chow's, the guard, and they end up falling into a pile of DVDs. Then came Arkansas. I'm not sure if he would qualify as a dwarf, maybe just a guy with a growth disability. He was about 4 feet tall at most. He would look like a 12-year-old kid except for the fact that he was completely ripped. He was one of those guys just itching for action. Looked like he had something to prove. So Chaps the Muscle and the steak guy are in the DVDs, and the steak guy tries to get up, and here comes Ark. I'm probably wrong, but I swear in my mind I heard a "hiya," and the little guy jumped through the air with both feet forward and just planted himself into the chest of this guy. He went down again. I heard Chaps scream, "I Ark no," while Ark was climbing onto the guy's chest and started pounding his face with his little fists. Pam pam. Pam pam. This isn't what they teach you to do in Walmart security, loss prevention. I think it's the official department. Eric was fired almost immediately. Walmart got sued, and they would have been better off letting the guy walk away with the stakes, but wow, what a show. A little epilogue. I just found out Ark's real name was Josh. Couldn't remember it and made one up, and he's a sex offender who was recently arrested for going to an elementary school dressed as an elf with sex offender status. Life is weird, weird.